Every single day, we work hard to provide meals to those in need. In our community, too many people face hunger and uncertainty, but you have the power to change that. Your generosity can transform lives. Provide a meal, be the hope.
We were paying. Are we live? Are we? All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, welcome, guys. This is the very first episode of the Modesto Gospel Mission podcast. I'm excited to do this. This has been a long time coming, and I'm excited to share this space with you, Zack.
Hey, me too.
So we ironically, you text me the other day. You're like, "Hey, man, we're doing a podcast. I'd love to get on it." And
Yeah.
so, what better time than like the very first one?
Hey,
No. So I just want to share with you guys what you can expect from this podcast moving forward. Um, we are planning on really diving into what we do here. Zack here is going to share some men's ministry stuff with you every month for a series. What that looks like at the mission, we're going to go into that today, actually. And then on top of that, we're going to have people from the community come out. They're going to share.
very good.
We have some pastors that I've already had agree to come out and share. Some civic leaders here in Modesto, kind of talking about homelessness in the community. And then, of course, for you guys watching, if you have questions that you are curious about and you want us to answer those in our podcasts, send them to us. We'd love to hear them. You can comment on this actual podcast, and we will save those questions, and we'll answer those in the future podcasts. Moving forward, you can expect to see either me not in this chair or Zack not in that chair, but definitely see Jason, our CEO, in
Yeah.
one of these two chairs.
Yep.
He's in Disneyland right now.
Yeah. Lucky guy.
I know, right? Crazy. All right, well, let's get into it. So I was excited to have you come here because I'm pretty passionate about what we do as far as the actual program side goes.
Amen.
And so if you could, you're the director of men's programs here.
Mhm.
What does that look like?
Well, I mean, we have our hands in a lot of pots at the Modesto Gospel Mission. And so, in addition to working with individuals who are in the midst of dealing with homelessness and having an emergency shelter for those folks that just need an escape from the street, and really they're maybe unsure about their future and what steps to take, and maybe even scared of how to take those steps. Emergency shelters, the first and step towards sort of introducing them into what we offer here at the Modesto Gospel Mission. So we have an emergency shelter that we provide case management to those individuals when they get here, trying to understand their needs, understand what their situations and circumstances are. Kind of, um, a misnomer in the homeless population is that everybody's needs are the same, right? And we deal with people that have a variety of needs. And so really kind of sitting down with them and being able to have conversations, understand, provide them some dignity of we care, we're not casting judgment, we're not looking at you through any lens other than wanting to help you and be the hands and feet of Jesus. Finding out those needs and then trying to get them to the correct outlet, right? So we are huge proponents of our New Life program, our 12 to 18-month long discipleship program. We do believe that that is the stability and the foundation that the majority of our folks that come to the Modesto Gospel Mission need for that next step to be able to achieve the things that we all know that they're capable of achieving, to give them that sure, strong foundation built on Christ, but also with responsibility and time management, all the things that maybe you and I take for granted. That's another component of our program. We have a fathers and sons part of our program where fathers who have, excuse me, I said fathers and sons, fathers with children that can come and utilize our facilities. We're, I think, maybe the only one that I know of in the Valley that offer that sort of help to fathers with children. We have our Hopes Works program, which is now out into the community, helping folks get reacclimated and reintroduced into the workforce. So a lot of different tentacles that we're providing help for, and it's all exciting stuff that we're happy to be involved in.
Yeah, yeah. One of the other things, and I can't go without saying,
Yeah,
I'd like to mention our sponsor, Valente Coffee. If you
amen.
haven't tried Valente Coffee, you got to try it. Uh, our program guys are actually kind of running that program right now.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
yeah,
Valente Coffee, shameless plug right there. All right. So for somebody who's unfamiliar, really, I mean, that was a really good high level kind of what that program
yeah,
looks like. But for somebody who's super unfamiliar with the mission as
yeah,
a whole, maybe you're watching this and you're a donor and you've given your money and you have an idea as to what we do, but really you have no experience with that kind of lifestyle, like, and you're curious, like, what is? Let's say somebody comes in off the streets,
yeah,
right? What does their first day look like?
yeah. So again, the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to inquire about them and really try to determine who that we need to sit them down with and what their needs are. We may feel like, and typically we do have a pretty good understanding of maybe what it is that we think that they need.
Yep.
Um, but it could be different than what they think that they need. And so we don't want to push anything on them necessarily. We want to introduce them into everybody kind of comes to the mission with this preconceived notion of how we are and how we operate. And so we want to break those walls down first and foremost and let them know that we're here to help them. And so um, we sit down with them, we talk to them, try to identify, like I said, their needs. We give them a change of clothes. We'll give them a hot meal, a shower, things like that. Obviously, a bed to sleep in. We introduce them to a chapel service every night as well. But we sit down with them, we have conversations, and depending on whether or not they want to enter into our new life program, if they want to do that, then we kind of go down that course. If they just are interested in our emergency services, then we start providing them with some case management to identify those. Maybe they want to get a job, but they don't have the correct vital documents that they need for
Yep.
that. So we'll start accomplishing those things and just sort of one mountain or they what they might deem as a mountain at a time and sort of conquering those things to let them know that these things are achievable and that we're going to assist them along that journey.
So one of the things, I manage social media, right? And one of the things I hear all the time
Mhm.
on social media, which is crazy to me, um, especially because we haven't made people drink the punch in at least 6 months, right? So no, uh, I hear, oh, I can't go to the Modesto Gospel Mission.
Yeah,
It's a cult,
yeah.
right? Which is, what would you say to that, right?
Uh, um, if it is, I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
We do not force Christ on anybody. We 100% believe that a personal relationship with Jesus Christ is the answer
Yep.
to whatever issue it is. Maybe drugs or alcohol or just any old situation that we all deal with in life. We believe that having that sure foundation of a relationship with Christ is key. However, we're not forcing anybody into any of that. So even if men want to join our New Life program, it is not a requirement that they are a believer in Christ. They are required to participate in our classes. They're required to participate in the curriculum that we do and things of that nature. But nobody is required to make a profession of faith. They're not required to be baptized.
Yeah.
They're not required to do any of those things. We believe and we hope that during the course of time that we interact with them, that we show them that we genuinely care about them, that our um, attitude, our heart will show them that's their best option.
Yeah.
And hopefully that they come to that determination on their own.
Yeah.
And of course we see great results for those that do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like we have established that number one, we're not a cult, and that number two, everybody can come in,
Yeah.
and everybody's case is different here. So, let's say you're watching this right now, and let's say you, maybe you personally are struggling with something, or a family member or somebody you know is struggling. So what does that look like for that individual to come in here? Is it an application
Yeah.
process? Like, what is how would they
Yeah.
go about it?
A great question. A lot easier than what people may think, right? So there's really a couple of options. There is an application on our website. You can go to our website and go to programs, men's programs, and you can click on the application and you can fill it out there. That application then is forwarded to me directly. I get an opportunity to look at that. And review it, and we would submit that to our intake coordinator. He would give that individual a call, set up a time for them to come down and get that process started. If somebody just walk in off the street, you come to our front office and let them know, hey, I'm here, I'm interested in the New Life program. They would just connect that individual immediately with our intake coordinator. His name is Eric Felix. It connect them with Eric. Eric would allow them to do the paperwork that's necessary. Everything has paperwork
Mhm.
involved with it.
Yep.
And so they do that paperwork. We'd get them enrolled and processed and into our program as soon as possible. Now, that doesn't necessarily always mean that it happens right then, depending on how full we are and
Yeah.
where we're at in that process. Depends on how soon we can get them in. Uh, but even if that is the case, Scott, and we don't have immediate room into our program, we would never tell somebody, you've got to go stay on the street until we do. We would invite them in to stay at our shelter, be a participant in our day program, and sort of have the safety net of the Modesto Gospel Mission until we were able to get them into program.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen it firsthand. I've been with the mission now 7 years. I've seen a lot of guys come through. I've seen a lot of what I would definitely consider success. Background on me, I struggled personally with alcohol, drug abuse, homelessness, etc. I've been through programs. I've seen success and what would be considered not success in different
Sure.
programs. Um, 30-day programs I've seen work a little less
Mm.
than what we offer here. But one of the things that's been really cool working at the mission, why I've been here for so long, is in sales they say it's you're really good at selling something if you believe in your product, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you don't believe in what you're selling, you're going to be a horrible
Hard
salesperson,
to pitch
right?
it. Yeah.
uh what I do here, right, in fundraising and in marketing, is I'm selling the program ultimately,
Yeah.
right? It makes it really easy because I believe in it.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
it. So would you mind sharing with everybody kind of like what's your favorite success story that you've seen
Yeah.
happen here? Like the most
Well,
crazy, exciting one to you.
yeah, well, that's you're going to get me in trouble
Yeah.
here because I've got a lot
Yep.
of really favorites, I guess. Um, and just kind of to briefly touch on you, I too come from a background of addiction. Um, I wouldn't say I was homeless in the sense of what we would consider typical homeless, but I was a couch surfer for
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
years. Uh, but you know, due to the Lord's faithfulness and goodness, I am what I am today. And I'm just so, um, I don't know, overwhelmed with the privilege that it is to be associated with a ministry like the Modesto Gospel Mission. And so coming here to work every day is an absolute blessing. And I overall have been here since 2012, and there with a couple of year hiatus in the middle of that. But have seen God do so many things in so many different individuals' lives over that course of time, that again, narrowing that down is hard. But I mean, my favorite story that I get to look at on a daily basis, because now is our program manager for our New Life program, is Chaplain Cole.
Yeah. Yep.
And just the he inspires me with his fervor, with his how excited he is on a daily basis about what God has done for him. And I don't want to get emotional, but from I remember the day that he got here. I remember thinking to myself, this dude won't be here a week. And that's just what happens when God gets a hold of somebody's life.
Yeah.
And I've seen Cole go from a program participant to joining our rescue intern program, to um, being called into ministry, to entering into seminary, to getting married, to having a child, to having another one on the way. Just all the things that we hope and desire for all of our individuals that come through our program. Cole is an embodiment of that, and um, we've got many stories like that too, Scott. So it's just really, really exciting because there is a lot of discouragement in ministry,
Yeah.
and when you're working with broken people, the results aren't always what we want them to be. And so having those uh, people that we can point to is not only an encouragement to those individuals that are still coming through the program or maybe just starting the program, but to those of us who have, years of sobriety and a personal relationship with Christ to be able to just remind ourselves that He's still working miracles and He's still doing things in the lives of those that submit and surrender to Him.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I love about Cole, which there are many, if you haven't had a chance to come out here and meet Cole, spend about 4 minutes anywhere on our campus. He'll find you. I promise. You'll know he's coming.
Yeah,
One of the things that's cool is like Cole, before he got here, and I've talked to him about because I didn't know him before, but he was like a river dweller, you
right.
know.
Yeah,
The river dweller to us is, the person who almost has given up completely and
sure.
has, the river is somewhere that you can kind of be away from society, right? And
Mm,
you're down there, you have, a little community of people, but you've essentially said, I'm no longer a part of
yeah,
the greater community. This is
detached.
I've
Yeah,
detached,
yeah,
right? Um, and those are generally the folks that I've seen have made that decision and they stay there long term.
right.
That's chronic.
Yeah.
Um, Paul's a homeowner now. Like
Yes, he is.
that's the crazy part to
Yeah.
me. Paul didn't just like get his life together.
No.
He owns a home
Yeah.
that he did on his own,
Mhm.
right? Um, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe Paul is now renting that house out
He is.
to another graduate in our program who's
Yeah.
newly married
Yeah.
at a really affordable rent to help that young
Yep.
couple
Yes, he
get
is.
through. So I mean, that's just kind of Cole's heart. There
Yeah.
was at one point I'll share with you guys. I used to have a rule that Cole was only allowed in my office one time a day because if Cole comes in, number one, I know I'm going to get a sermon right immediately,
For sure.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And number two, Cole in the beginning he had a hard time understanding like the work aspect. Everything was so ministry focused. Like I just want to share the gospel, and I'm going to spend the next 2 hours in your office sharing it, right? Which I love his heart. Nowadays he's done a lot, better, I'll
Yeah.
call it. But
Yeah.
I just love Cole to death, and so I'm glad you pulled
Yeah.
that story
Yeah. Yeah.
for success. So we don't have a whole lot of time left, but
Yeah.
share some of the challenges that you would say, just for you as the director of men's ministry here, men's programs, and some of the challenges that people might experience when they come into our
Yeah.
program.
Well, there's a lot of challenges. I think probably for individuals that come here um, uh, for our New Life program, and that's kind of what we're focused on. There's, like I said, a lot of different ministries, but for that particular program, I think there's really probably two things um, that are difficult. Number one is also the thing that makes us different, and that is that we're a long-term program, and that sometimes is difficult for men to feel like that they can do and accomplish, right?
Yeah.
That long-term commitment aspect of it. So that's a challenge I think that we help men try to navigate. The second one is that we share a space with our emergency guests. And so we do our best to separate those individuals from the members of our New Life program, but in essence, they share a space, and so there's still kind of that pool of the world that's kind of still there. And so that's a challenge that we try to have to navigate as well. And then from a ministry part, I think our one of our challenges is that we're always looking for mentors. We're always looking for other men that want to invest in the lives of the men that we work with. that is another one that kind of stands out immediately.
So then kind of to push that further, like
Yeah.
what's in the future? What are your goals? Like what do you want to like if you could dream big,
Hmm.
what does this program look like 5, 10 years from
Yeah,
now?
yeah. Well, I would love to have a separate facility specifically for our New Life program and the men that are in that program, where they sort of where they sleep, where they do class, where they not necessarily work. I think it's our New Life program men sort of do keep our mission
Yeah.
sort of going on a daily basis, and I think that is a an integral part of their journey of learning the responsibility of getting up and doing something on a daily basis and having those responsibilities and being there on time and all of those things is integral. And they have to learn to be able to be around sometimes negative
Hmm.
environment, and so maybe people who aren't always pulling for them. And so I think that's important. But having a space dedicated for them, set apart for them, set aside for them, sort of a safe place that they can go to and retreat to, and would be the that's the top of Mount Everest for me, for them. And um, so yeah,
And you got 72 capacity right now?
70 enough room for 72 currently, and if we had more than that, we'll do what we can to make room for more.
Yeah, you heard him. If you have a building that holds like 100 men
Let's
and
do it.
you're just not using it, maybe it's just sitting there. Maybe it's empty and it's been empty forever and you just want something good to happen with that building.
Yeah,
Call Zach.
give me a buzz.
He would love to put it to use. And it's, we've invested a lot in women's ministry here and do rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
You know,
Absolutely.
Hannah's house, expanding Hannah's house again. It's it's funny. I do a lot of grants at the mission, and so it's like we're really going and Zach's in these meetings. And it was like last week, I was like, oh man, we got this grant, like super excited, and I was like, it's for Hannah's house, and then Zach was like, another one for Hannah's house. Let's go. And so I'm gonna work on your stuff too. Don't worry. I got you.
I know you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think ultimately, for those of you listening today, there's a couple of things, Zach, that you said that stood out to me. Obviously like future goals, having a building, that's huge. But one of the real tangible things I think that people in our community could do, given that your walk with the Lord is on track and all of that, and maybe you're watching this and you really want to get involved with us
Yeah.
somehow. You mentioned mentors,
Yeah.
and mentors are so important.
Yes.
And one of the things that I would say about mentors and why it's important is because we're pouring into these men on a daily basis,
Hmm.
right? We pour into them, whether it's my office, the development office, we pour into any intern that we have. You pour into them as you
Sure.
see them. Holes pouring into them. They're getting a lot of people from the mission
Right.
to pour into them. Um, when they go to church, their church is pouring into them. But getting that one person
Hmm.
who maybe isn't even associated with the mission at all or their church or anything, and it's just somebody from the community who says like, "Hey, I want to walk alongside you, and
Yeah.
I want to help you with any questions that you might have,
Hmm.
and I just want to be there for you as a brother, accountability, spiritual
Yeah.
accountability, etc." It is so important,
Yeah.
right? And
Absolutely.
so, would you say that that's one of your biggest asks?
For 100%. I mean, God created us to be relational. We need relationship if we're going to thrive. And that's not just our men in our program. That's you and I.
Yeah.
We all need relationships, and and I think even more so for our men in our program, simply because the reality is for the most part, you mentioned earlier, they have sort of disconnected and detached from society, and so getting them back and developing those relationships and having friendships and somebody who doesn't have an angle. They're just there because they want to pour into them. They want to be a friend. They want to invest in their future. Is just really beautiful thing to see, and something that we can always use and take advantage of.
Yeah. One of the things that I'll share, having had experience in programs, is it's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
a, it's a lot of work for these guys. What they're doing, is incredible. I mean, I remember they used to tell me there was a wall, right? You'd hit like a 3 month, a
Yeah.
6 month, and a 1 year wall. And to watch these guys just plow through these walls
Hmm.
that you hit, because if you think about it, you're uprooting whatever life you had, even if it was miserable,
Sure.
right? But it's comfortable because it's familiar,
It's familiar.
right? And the anxiety that comes with that uh, can be overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
And to see them not just overcome that anxiety when, like if we're being honest here, right? A lot of these guys have self-medicated,
Yeah.
for years.
Sure.
And so anxiety is one of those things that easily gets self-medicated, right? So now they're coming here and there's change. And that change triggers this anxiety. And to watch them overcome it and I had a guy come into my office. He's still here today, but he came into my office like 2 months ago and just asked, "Hey, would somebody pray with me?"
Yeah.
And to see that that's where they're going now,
Yeah.
it just shows me what you guys are doing is working,
Yeah.
right? And I see it every day. Um, and so with that, I just want to invite you guys, the community, to come down, meet Zach.
Please. Yeah.
Um, Come down and take a tour with us, see what we have going on. Maybe you have a family member who could use a program like this. Um, we'd love to host them. We'd love to
Absolutely.
host
Yeah.
you and anyone you want to bring down. And we'd love to show you what we have going on here. For those of you who, had this preconceived notion that, oh, the mission is a cult, come down and see it firsthand.
Yeah.
One of the things that I also see online, I'm going to throw this one at you too, is we see folks who are talking about, oh, well, they kicked this person out of the mission,
Yeah.
right? And it's, if you knew Zach, you know that he's not sitting in his office just plotting like, oh man, who can I kick out
Who
next?
today?
And so it's, I could say it for you, but having worked with Zach for years now,
Hmm.
um, his first reaction is never to kick somebody out.
No.
It's always to figure out what's going on and see what's best for
Yeah.
the individual, right? And so, how would you talk about that part of it just to
Yeah.
finish this up?
I would say our first reaction to any sort of situation is what can we do to keep the individual here?
Huh.
Um, how can we navigate this situation and keep them here? Now, there obviously are some non-negotiable things that
Yeah,
can happen, and when those things do take place, we have to administer some sort of consequence with that. I would say that we've never kicked anybody out of the mission. We have asked people to leave, but we've done that for their safety. We've done that for the safety of others. We've done that for the integrity of the Modesto Gospel Mission and what we believe and stand for. But never have we um, just willy-nilly made a decision to send somebody down the road. We understand that we are working with fragile people. We're working with lives, and every single one of them matter,
yeah,
and every single one of them needs to be treated with dignity and grace and kindness. And we do our best to administer that. That does not always look like what everybody wants it to. But at the end of the day, I can rest my head on the pillow knowing that we are doing our best to treat everybody with kindness and dignity.
yeah, yeah. And I can definitely second that. I've seen it, so it's exciting to me. For you guys out there watching, okay, this is our very first episode of this podcast here. It's an exciting kind of day for
Yeah,
us, right?
awesome. Yeah,
We've been talking about doing this forever, but there is an action for you. Number one, follow our podcast, obviously, because you want to see all of our episodes. Number two is reach out to us. You can reach out and schedule a tour. We'd love to meet with you. Zach would love to answer questions
for
that you
sure.
might have.
Yep.
And we'd love to connect with you. And so that's one of the things that I really want to get across in this podcast as we move forward
Yeah.
is connection. We want to connect with the community. We want to answer those questions. We want people to see firsthand what we do, how
Yes.
we do it, and that's your invitation. So with that, thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks.
We're super excited. Stay tuned and follow us for more. All right.
Thank you.
See ya.